Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. We are on air, and we're back on the 34. This is one playing field of polyester putty. And today, I'm hoping that we get to put a little paint on. That's what I'm hoping today. I've done it down with an 80 grit. I still got to go over with a 220 grit. And then I'm going to prime it with a red oxide, just right out of the can. Not very much, just enough to give it the color. And then I'm going to paint it. And then I'm going to give you the reason why. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because the car, if I tear the car apart, and then what I have is a car that's torn apart that you would never get the money back out of that you spent on it. Also, you would have probably years of labor, and also you would probably have probably thousands and thousands of dollars of money. And the reason being is the cost of labor these days and the cost of material to strip this car all the way down and come back up again. That's where the value would be lost in this car. As I'm doing it, I've thought it over. I want to leave the car in contact. I'm thinking this thing's going to start, so I'm thinking it's going to take off no problem because I've pulled the clutch and moved a few things. Everything moves good. The roof went down, the windows go down, all that stuff. I'm thinking it's going to be okay. But as I'm doing this, all I'm trying to do is get some paint on that door so it doesn't look the way it did. Like, I mean, let's face it. We just puttied that in, and then we're fixing only that area. You see where I taped it off? Actually, you can see, I'm not sure if on the second channel, maybe there might be a thing where it showed how I done this. Also, when people say it's too thick, it's like, you really have to real understand is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring that white stuff, this putty or all the filler material, I'm trying to bring it up to the layer of the paint. Now, when you don't realize it, but paint, primer, all that stuff has thickness. Like, this is basically what I'm filling in. I'm filling in paint, chips like that. That's paint coming off. I'm basically trying to get that back in order. That's paint coming off. There could be a little layer of fill in that, but that's what's coming off. Like, so basically that's what I'm replacing. This here is the very worst place that's going on the car, and it would not be 3/16 would not be. That's the worst place on the car. It's on the other side at the bottom. That's the worst place. On this part, when you see me working on it, and Jolene shows you on the other channel there, I used fiberglass and thinned it right down, thin as I could get it, and tried to place it in all the holes and areas that we wanted to fix. And the only reason I did that, because I had no body fill. Didn't have any. I wanted to fix it and make it look a little better. And that's what I did. I generally would have used just body fill on that instead of the fiberglass and thinned it down, but this is what I've done. I generally don't use putty, and I'm telling you something else. That putty's gorgeous. Like that, to spread that, beautiful. I've never generally go to that stuff and use it. You're talking $100 a can for the little tiny can, and the big can you can get for probably 70 bucks or filler. So that's basically what I do. So what I'm thinking is I am adding value to the car by fixing the door. Tearing the car apart is taking away the value. That's taking away value. I'm not going to do that. It does not deserve that. If somebody wants to tear this car down and restore it, you must realize what that cost. And then you have to buy the car. But if that's what you want, you go for it. It's your passion. Passion has no price, basically. But what I want to do is I just want to make this area paintable. I still have cracks in the paint in a few places. I am not worried about it. That's how I want it. I want to keep it that way. I do not want to fix all that stuff. I want to keep it that way. But this area was unacceptable to the man that was driving the car. He offered me $25 and I said I'd fix it for him. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix it for him. That way it looks a little bit better. He'll be happier with his car, if you can understand that. And that's what we're doing. Let's get on it. I got 220. Basically, I'm trying to get away as far as the least amount of paint I can get on that. That's what I'm trying to do. I've got a 220 to go next, and then I'm going to prime it with red oxide. I'm going to blow it off, prime it with the red oxide just out of the can, and then I'm probably just going to paint it. Like, I'm probably going to make it that simple if I can. I'm not going to go crazy on it. just gonna paint it. Make sure everything's covered up the best we can, and then we'll go like that. Pair of glasses. I like a light also doing this, man. My eyes are just getting not the best. Like, just, you know, it is what it is. These little lights are pretty cool. You can still see, like there's a spot there ready to come off. Not going there. Just fixing the rusty spots and going with it. Just using the DA on this, not going crazy with the block or anything. I don't think it's necessary. The reason I don't think it's necessary, take a look at the rest of it. It's an old paint job that I'm not willing to take it all off to please myself. I just want to make it look a little better. That's all. I've even got a little spot. No, I guess it's in the thing. I thought it was a little chip. We'll just hit this up here with a little 220. Generally, you'd want to use paper on this. Just it seems to be a little more reasonable priced, obviously, because it takes time to put the glue on top back of that and cut it in shape, I guess. That's why it's more expensive, but where it's right there, I'm just going to use it. Just going to sand this down for a second. I was just trying to replace, well, I did. I just replaced what was missing. Whether it looks perfect or not, that's another thing. I'm just replacing what was missing. And I feel no harm, no foul. I'm helping it. The old guy that owns this car, I'm helping him out a little bit, you know, getting her, fix the spots on her, and then, you know, so I look at it. Done this kind of job many times for a lot of people, you know. Can you fix that little spot for me? Don't care what it looks, you know, just try to make it, get the paint back on it. The big mystery is when someone fixes their car and fixes a spot in their car, they don't finish it by painting it. When you prime it and leave it, and you put that red oxide primer on it and you leave it, it doesn't do anything for the protection of your work. When you feel that, can't help that, can't help that. There's a bunch of stuff I probably feel, can't help that. I also might paint it, and then after I paint it, sand it again and paint it. I'm not sure, because I'm just going with a 220. I'm not running down with a bunch of primer on it and blocking off, making sure it looks good. Not doing that. No, this is not the job for that. Have to pick your poison sometimes. And I'm thinking we're picking the right poison on this one. The way you play your cards, I guess. I tore this thing all apart and have her sitting there for 5 years. That'd be fantastic. What would I get out of that? Unless I knew I was going for it, which I don't, or not, and I'm going for the part I want it to look good if I want to, you know, once it's, get it running, take it to town. A lot of people wondering about Nathan. Nathan is his own, like he's his own boss. He does work for a lot of people. I'm thinking Nathan wants to do his own thing. That's what he said to me. And listen, I respect that more than anything. I do not, you know, there's people that come in here all the time that work. And I would never expect anybody to stay here and not go forward. Like I tell everybody that comes here, if you come here, come to work, do a fantastic job, and leap off to another job. You know, try to get more money, leap off to another job. And I think that Nathan has probably done that, and I give him a big hurrah for that. That's the way to go. You know, you're making more money and going forward, that's where you've got to go. He was only part-time here. I appreciate everything he done. I even tried to offer more money to stay here. But he has obviously got something else that's fantastic for him. And when you're working at some place, and you're working there and you're going like this, and you're thinking, and you want to get ahead in life, that's when you think, when you're working. You work hard, you think about what you can do, what other job you want to go do, and jump off to that job and go to your own. Nathan's got his hoist going up and got his building going up, I think. I think it's going good for him. So basically, I'm just going to paint this car today. Yeah, so if anybody wanted to know, you would never expect anybody not to grow, that's for sure. I don't. I've told so many people that when they come here, this is not your last job. This could be the job where you jump off and do what you want to do, you know? Always. Always. Alrighty. Get this done. It's winter time. You know, it's going to be hard sometimes to get in the garage, sometimes whatever. It is winter time. You know, we'll get our little Ford, playing with this little Ford here. We got the Volvo there to do. I'm not sure what else we're going to be into, but I hope you stay with us and we'll do what we can do to get things done. Like always. Like always. Like they say, when that one door closes, another one opens. So. Alrighty. I think we're getting ready for paint. Alrighty, that looks good. I'm thinking that's good enough, you know? Good enough. Good enough. If you watch the videos, even when Ron was talking to me, don't mistake Ron, because Ron has been in this business probably longer than I have been, almost alive, probably, from what I understand. When he said, when you tear that car apart, he's paid the bills of bodymen and mechanics and that sort of stuff, what kind of money you're spending. I kind of figured it out myself, actually, when we started getting Nathan and Doug come in and help, what it cost actually to get things finished. Sometimes, like, let's be honest, I gotta be honest with you, the best car to buy is a complete car that has everything. Because as soon as you have to start buying stuff and then fabricating stuff to get it on there, that's when it costs you money. On this one right here, everything's there. Like, everything's there. But to tear that all apart and then build it back up again, if you've never restored an old car and you want one, to get one reasonably priced and nice, you probably should just go buy one. But if you have the passion and you want to restore your own, I suggest you go do it every day of the week, basically. But you must understand, like, Ron knows about this stuff, and like he was explaining to me, you know, once you tear that car apart, that's why he didn't tear it apart, because you're in for it. Like, you're really in for it. Like, you have to do every piece and go to the limits that it needs to make it complete. Let's get this primed. Let's do this. Drags. Moving around all over the place. gonna leave that paint there the best we can. I'm gonna pull that off. We're just gonna blow that off. I'm just gonna pull this. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna move this chassis. Outside. Venus working? Alrighty. Haven't got much room there, but I'm gonna pull this bad boy off. Just trying to keep some of the dust off it, mind you. This paint, I couldn't tell you how old it is, but I know it's old enough that, you know, it's got a few wrinkles in it like me. I know that. There's a bunch, we have to kind of pick our poison what we're going to fix. I'm not sure about painting the trunk lid or not. I'm thinking I'd probably leave that, probably. Just trying to make a quick repair on that one side. So when you're going down the road, we have that one repair down there is one that I think I'd like to fix. Well, it would look so much better. Would look so much better. This has got to go back further. I'm not scratching that car because it's not back far enough. Yeah, is that back far enough now? Nope. It's amazing how heavy these chassis get when you double them up. Woo. Stay. Stay, Elijah. All right, pull this door open. I'm not going to pull it all the way. I'm just going to pull it far enough I can get. If I can paint her like Jimbo, remember Jimbo that day? He said, I'm just going to paint that, and he never taped her up or nothing. I said, you're going to paint that without taping it up? Well, I'm not going to paint that. I hope I can do it like that, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. That's why I'm thinking everything's good on this car. It rolls nice. Like, I mean, it really, I didn't even check it for if it's got antifreeze in it yet, but Ron said, or he thought it had antifreeze in it. But this would be also a good car to restore in the sense of everything's there. That's why it would be a good car to restore. Let's do this, get her bottle off. Wouldn't be surprised if more paint comes off. Should almost leave the dust on the car. It'd be good protection for overspray. Come take a look. I put that putty on, try to get it there thick so I can get it all done. I got pinholes in that. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. And the reason being is, see that? See that? See that? See that? It's just kind of, that's where the car's at. And for me to think that I should get back over there and mix more putty and put on that, I think it's kind of foolish. So I just got to tell myself, there's no need. We're just trying to get rid of the rusty spots and put some paint on it. That's all we're trying to do. Not doing any priming and sanding and blocking and guide coat, not doing any of that. That's not the job for this one. Certain cars, to me, have certain jobs that need to be done to them. And this one, I think, is getting what it needs. Just the rust taken off with a little paint on it. And the reason I know it is because the day I seen our 48 fleet line that Larry did, amazing. And basically he just cleaned it up to make it look good. Let's get on this here. I'm gonna get some paper going real quick. Tape, we haven't got no good stuff, but we got some of that stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, baby. Let's do this. Can't have any paint on our windows. Don't think we want paint on our windows. Someday, I don't do a lot of taping and miss that altogether. A lot of paper taping and that stuff for painting cars. Don't do a lot of that here. Do some of it. But I like to have that thing on the floor that holds your paper and put your tape on. You know which one I'm talking about, sweetheart? Let's go like that. Just gonna wrap this up. I don't think any paint's gonna get on that. Don't have to wrap it up extra special, just have to get something over top it, not bringing paint way over here. I'm hoping not to. And I probably won't. Put something on it. It's good enough, I'd say. Good enough. Now, let's take this off. I think we'll run a new piece there. I'm going to leave the sill, even though it's got paint. Look, you can see the paint beat off that. But that's it. That's, you know, not painting that. Painting the door. Put a piece of cardboard underneath that. I will. All right, let's put some. I'm going to piece of paper, run it down the side. And I'll do one of these at a time. Like I'll do this door, touch it up, and then I can maybe touch the quarter panel up the next time or whatever, vice versa. That's what I'm thinking. You have to wait a second, Tina. Sorry. She's had a little less patience with us lately, hasn't she, Jolene? A little less patience she has. She just kind of...
Just turned to a diva.
Let's, anybody that's watching me do this, I don't know if you've ever had a car restored, but ask yourself, how much do you think it would cost to restore this 34? To blow it all apart and restore it. I'm guessing I'm guessing, we'll say, like, I'm living in old times because I keep thinking $30 an hour, but I'm guessing you wouldn't get a restoration shop any cheaper than $60 an hour. No. Or $70 or whatever. I'm just guessing that. But I don't know. I'm thinking you'd be up around $100,000 if you were to restore that car, you know, under the hood, inside the hood, underneath the trunk lid and all that sort of stuff, all the frame, chassis. I think you'd be well over 100 and some. And I'm thinking that's all the money for these cars, or you'd probably get more, I guess, but you don't have to agree with me, or even whatever. Just you have to think about what it would cost to restore that car. Don't want to do that, think that like that. Got another one right here that's not dirty. Block that in. Put that right there like that. That'll stop me from getting any. I just move that forward. Let's do this for Jolene. Jolene's my queen. Makes sense to do that. Done it, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Let's put a little bit there. Now I'm just putting the red oxide primer on it. Just gonna dust it on. And I'm gonna paint it. No ifs, ands about it. Where'd I throw them glasses? I'm lost without them. And I could have went further, like I said, I could have took the door off and stripped it. Then I would have had a really nice painted door with the car that looked, you know, it just doesn't seem to me like a no-win situation. But got to be careful with this too. We're playing with old-time paint on this car. And I get spraying this spray bomb on here, like too crazy. It very easily can wrinkle. And I don't even know if I got enough spray bomb to get it done, but you know what I'm trying to tell you. Like the edges there, the different primers and stuff, that's like a lacquer primer. I get something there that reacts with that. It's bad news. I only got a little bit of primer in this thing. I didn't buy any. I think we spent enough on the, we'll get what we can get here. I'm just thinking it'd just be a good value shade for the color of paint that we're doing. Some dark spots will get you. Make your paint job look bad. Be very careful there. Get that on there wet and get something wrinkled, then it just looks bad. Well, it's wrinkled then. You have to go back and sand it and fixing it. You can tell I haven't got much left either. Now, that's a spray bomb that'll wipe off. See, I got a little dust going on there. I should have one maybe laying out further. I'm pretty well out of that bad boy right there. I'm just gonna grab a thinner rag for a second. Grab a rag. Just gonna wipe that dust off of that primer and then make sure I cover it up better for the next one. Basically just gun wash. So I can wash my guns down and that sort of stuff. Anytime you use paint, you just usually use thinner. That's just lacquer primer, so it just comes off really easy. Just want to make sure I get it all off. I take off. I'll just get 2 on there next time, that's all. Alrighty, that is gone. I would like to have more primer on that, to be honest with you. And the reason I like to have more primer on that is because it's not covered all them dark spots. You can see through paint sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if it's not, you have the right value shade. Like if I've had it, I should go take a look, shouldn't I? Should go take a look. See if I got some black. I got this. Yes, that'll be fine. That's just lacquer primer. Yep. Got some black. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. And the reason I'm going to go with it is, like I said, the value shade for the paint. I don't think that red oxide's enough. You can still see spots in it. If you've ever seen a car go down the road and look like it's spotty, well, that's the reason right there. That's the reason right there. Let's do this. And then we'll open that paint and we'll go for it. We'll probably put a plastic cover back on it. If I can get the cover off. So we got the guy from Napa to come in and give a little bit of I don't want to get paint over the hole, just on the spots I want primer or paint. Not going to sand anything, just paint it. Sanding nothing. And the reason being is, this is the type of job I'm doing. I'm not going to go do a bunch of blocking and painting, or blocking and sanding when I haven't even blocked it out. I'm just priming it, painting it, make it look better. Might not yet, but it will. I have no idea what that's going to look like up there. Hard thing to do is just fill where paint is, and right there you can see where more paint wants to come off, but I didn't go that far. So basically I'm just put some more on it, make sure we're covered. Why wouldn't I? Just don't want to get it wet. I'm scared what's going to happen underneath of it. That's what I'm scared of. The putty I'm fine, but where the paint is, that's where I can obviously fail, because the chemicals could burn into it and not make it happy. Now you can see where the black is. Now I'm going to have to go a little further on the brown to get that black covered, but that's what happens when you do this sort of stuff. You know, most of that door was ate off. Big crack right there, but I didn't fix it, and the reason being is, I think I've said it enough. But sometimes it's not enough for some. Right? But I'll say one thing. Looking better than a rusty door. We're gonna go with that. And the reason we're gonna go with that, I think that's enough. It's enough. Good. And I'm gonna stumble around here a little bit. Now the Volvo is used as a bench, but things are looking fantastic on the front, you know. Fantastic, like it really is. It's fantastic. Let's do this. Take this up. It's got an awesome profile. When you go from the side, the fenders are coming up really nice. Got a nice profile. Hard to get a profile read on it with all the stuff on it, but it really has got a nice coming up there. I feel like just Floyd, the interior guy, was in here lately. He didn't like the fender skirts, so one of these days I'm going to take them off for you, Floyd, and you can watch it on this big screen without the fender skirts. Just for you, buddy. Just for you. Yeah. Is this our color? What do you think? Looks good enough to me. Yeah. It is what it is, baby. To me. Like, I don't mind, like, we have to understand here, we got a Napa guy to come in with a gun and shoot, not shoot, but pull the button and it give him a color match of the car. With the car being 25 years, or, I mean, this car probably hasn't been painted in probably 30, 40 years. I'm gonna go in this way and get a coffee cup. Probably hasn't been painted in 30, 40 years, so pretty hard to match, you know, unless you had your own system and you matched it, but to, you know, get Napa to come over with a gun and pull the trigger and do it that way, I'm fine with it. I guess that would be called part of the patina. That would be called part of the patina. So you wouldn't, yeah. So we're not color matching right at the present moment. We are going to paint it the color that we have. Color match is out the window, I would say. Just looking for my small gun. It's been a day or two since I used it, so got to find that stuff. Got to find that stuff. We'll probably put that cover back on. Probably a great idea. That plastic cover, or put a new one on. I'm just going to put this stuff down here. Let that stuff dry a little bit. Hopefully I got my gun in here. Let's get my gun here. That's working. It's a little clogged up. What are we at? Time?
Like 40.
Okay. I'm going to spray my gun a little bit. I'm going to let that dry a little bit more. I feel like just let that dry a little bit more. You come back tomorrow. I'm thinking that Jolene has obligations right at the present moment. You come back tomorrow and we'll spray that. I'll just take a little more time. We'll put the plastic on it, make everybody happy, and then we'll put a little of the brown paint on it and see what it looks like tomorrow. You come back. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Just trying to replace what was taken off. Alrighty, thanks a lot, everybody. When you're watching this, think about what it would cost to tear it all apart, restore how much. Think about how much we paid for it. How much would you pay for that car the way it looked? How much do you think it's worth now? Am I doing the right thing or am I doing the wrong thing? Have a great day, lots to think about. Come back tomorrow and we'll be here.